Welcome to our CompTIA A Core 22011-01 exam prep series. In this video, we're diving into the first set of 50 practice questions covering mobile devices, networking, hardware, virtualization, cloud computing, hardware, and network troubleshooting. This practice test mirrors the actual exam, which has up to 90 questions, 90 minutes to complete, and requires a passing score of 675 on a scale from 100 to 900. The exam focuses on skills equivalent to 12 months of experience in help desk, desktop support, or field service roles. Hardware and network troubleshooting is the largest domain at 29%, with networking at 20%, hardware at 25%, mobile devices at 15%, and virtualization and cloud computing at 11%. We'll guide you through each question and provide detailed explanations to solidify your understanding. Let's get started. The first question is about a technician setting up a new video workstation for a graphic designer. The workstation requires a high-resolution monitor that can display detailed imagery and text clearly. The monitor connects to the computer via a specialized video cable. Which of the following best describes the type of video cable connector that typically uses a locking screw to securely fasten the cable to the monitor? A. HDMI, B. USB, C. DisplayPort, D. DVI. The correct choice for the given question is D. DVI. A DVI, Digital Visual Interface Connector, is a video cable connector that typically uses a locking screw to securely fasten the cable to the monitor. This type of connector is commonly used for high-resolution monitors that display detailed imagery and text clearly. A. HDMI, High-Definition Multimedia Interface. HDMI is a digital video and audio interface commonly used for connecting devices such as TVs, monitors, and audio-video receivers. While HDMI can support high resolutions, it does not typically use a locking screw to secure the cable to the monitor. B. USB, Universal Serial Bus. USB is a standard interface used for connecting various devices to a computer, such as printers, keyboards, and external storage devices. USB is not typically used for connecting high-resolution monitors, and it does not use a locking screw for cable security. C. DisplayPort. DisplayPort is a digital display interface that can support high resolutions and is commonly used for connecting monitors, graphics cards, and other display devices. While DisplayPort can support high resolutions, it does not typically use a locking screw to secure the cable to the monitor. Question 2. A user reports that their laptop runs very slowly, even though the CPU and RAM utilization is low. Which of the following is the most likely cause of the performance issue? A. Outdated network drivers. B. Faulty SATA cable. C. Failing hard drive. D. Disabled hyperthreading. Correct choice, C. Failing hard drive. Outdated network drivers, A, can cause network connectivity issues but are unlikely to cause slow performance. A faulty SATA cable, B, can cause data transfer issues but is unlikely to cause slow performance. Disabled hyperthreading, D, can affect performance but is unlikely to cause slow performance. A failing hard drive, C, can cause slow performance even if the CPU and RAM utilization is low. It is recommended to check the hard drive's health using a diagnostic tool. Question 3. A technician is installing a new wireless router for a small office. The office wants to implement a guest Wi-Fi network that is separate from the main office network. Which of the following wireless network implementations should the technician configure? A. Configure a VLAN on the wireless router. B. Enable MAC address filtering on the router. C. Set up a VPN on the router. D. Create a separate SSID for the guest network. Correct choice, D. Create a separate SSID for the guest network. A VLAN, A, is a virtual LAN that separates traffic on a network. It is not necessary to set up a VLAN to create a separate guest network. MAC address filtering, B, is a security feature that allows or denies access to a network based on the MAC address of the device. It is not necessary to enable MAC address filtering to create a separate guest network. A VPN, C, is a virtual private network that allows users to securely access a private network over the internet. It is not necessary to set up a VPN to create a separate guest network. Creating a separate SSID, DE, for the guest network is the correct choice. This allows the guest network to be separate from the main office network and provides a way to configure different security settings for the guest network. Question 4. An office printer is showing an error code indicating a fuser error. Which of the following components should the technician check first when troubleshooting? A. Transfer belt. B. Imaging drum. C. Pickup rollers. D. Fuser assembly. Correct choice, D. Fuser assembly. The transfer belt, A. Imaging drum, B. and pickup rollers, C. are all components of a laser printer, but are unlikely to cause a fuser error. The fuser assembly, D, is responsible for melting toner onto the paper, and is the component that should be checked first when troubleshooting a fuser error. Question 5. A user's Android smartphone will not connect to the corporate email server. Certificate validation is enabled on the mail server. Which of the following is the most likely cause of the connection issue? A. Incorrect mail server port. B. Outdated device OS. C. Invalid account password. D. Untrusted device certificate. Correct choice, D. Untrusted device certificate. An incorrect mail server port, A, can cause connection issues, but is unlikely to be the cause of the problem if certificate validation is enabled. An outdated device, OSB, can cause compatibility issues, but is unlikely to be the cause of the problem if certificate validation is enabled. An invalid account password, C, can cause authentication issues, but is unlikely to be the cause of the problem if certificate validation is enabled. An untrusted device certificate, D, can cause connection issues if the certificate is not recognized by the mail server. The certificate should be installed on the device to establish a secure connection. Question 6. A desktop computer is showing video but no post or BIOS screen on boot up. Which of the following hardware components should be checked first? A. RAM. B. CPU. C. Hard drive. D. Power supply. Correct choice, A. RAM. The RAM, A, is responsible for storing data that the CPU needs to access quickly. If the RAM is faulty or not properly seated, it can cause video but no post or BIOS screen on boot up. The CPU, B, is responsible for processing data and is unlikely to be the cause of the problem if video is displayed. The hard drive, C, is responsible for storing data but is unlikely to be the cause of the problem if video is displayed. The power supply, D, provides power to the components and is unlikely to be the cause of the problem if video is displayed. Question 7. Which of the following cloud services provides the customer with a virtualized computing infrastructure over the internet? A. IaaS. B. SaaS. C. PaaS. D. Public cloud. Correct choice, A. IaaS. Infrastructure as a service, IaaS. A. Provides the customer with a virtualized computing infrastructure over the internet. The customer is responsible for managing the operating system, applications, and data. Software as a service, SaaS. B. Provides the customer with access to software applications over the internet. The customer does not manage the underlying infrastructure. Platform as a service, PaaS. C. provides the customer with a platform for developing, testing, and deploying applications over the internet. The customer does not manage the underlying infrastructure. Public cloud, D, is a type of cloud computing that provides services to the general public over the internet. Question 8. A user reports their laptop battery no longer holds a charge. The battery does not appear swollen. Which of the following should the technician check first? A. Confirm the laptop is not overheating. B. Test voltage output of the AC adapter. C. Reinstall the latest chipset drivers. D. Replace the battery. Correct choice. B. Test voltage output of the AC adapter. Confirming the laptop is not overheating. A is important but is unlikely to be the cause of the problem if the battery no longer holds a charge. Reinstalling the latest chipset drivers, C, is unlikely to be the cause of the problem if the battery no longer holds a charge. Replacing the battery, D, is a possible solution, but it is recommended to test the voltage output of the AC adapter, B, first to ensure that the battery is not being undercharged. Question 9. Which of the following ports uses TCP and is commonly associated with remote access to servers? A. 443, B. 3389, C. 23, D. 161. Correct choice. B. 3389. Port 443A is commonly used for HTTPS traffic. Port 23C is commonly used for Telnet traffic. Port 161D is commonly used for SNMP traffic. Port 3389B uses TCP and is commonly associated with remote access to servers using Remote Desktop Protocol, RDP. Question 10. A user reports their computer is overheating and shutting down randomly. Which of the following should the technician check first? A. Confirm sufficient wattage on the power supply. B. Ensure proper airflow and fan operation. C. Update the system BIOS. D. Test the computer's RAM. Correct choice. B. Ensure proper airflow and fan operation. Confirming sufficient wattage on the power supply, A, is important, but is unlikely to be the cause of the problem if the computer is overheating. Updating the system, BIOS, C, is unlikely to be the cause of the problem if the computer is overheating. Testing the computer's RAM, D, is important, but is unlikely to be the cause of the problem if the computer is overheating. Ensuring proper airflow and fan operation, B, is the correct choice. Overheating can be caused by a buildup of dust or debris in the computer's cooling system or by a malfunctioning fan. Question 11. Which of the following tools would a technician most likely use to terminate a Cat6 network cable? A. Multimeter. B. Cable tester. C. Punch-down tool. D. Loopback plug. Correct choice, C. Punch-down tool. A multimeter A is used to measure voltage, current, and resistance in a circuit. It is not used to terminate a network cable. A cable tester, B, is used to verify the connectivity of a network cable. It is not used to terminate a network cable. A loopback plug, D, is used to test a network interface card, NIC. It is not used to terminate a network cable. A punch-down tool, C, is used to terminate network cables by punching the wires into the connectors on a patch panel or wall jack. Question 12. A user reports their laptop runs much slower after upgrading the amount of RAM. The user upgraded from 4 GB to 12 GB of RAM. The laptop has a 32-bit Windows OS installed. Which of the following is the most likely reason for the performance decrease? A. Incompatible RAM speeds. B. RAM configured in single channel mode. C. 32-bit OS has max RAM limit lower than 12 GB. D. New RAM is defective. Correct choice. C. 32-bit OS has max RAM limit lower than 12 GB. Incompatible RAM speeds A can cause stability issues but are unlikely to cause a performance decrease. RAM configured in single channel mode B can affect performance but is unlikely to cause a significant decrease. A defective new RAM D can cause stability issues but is unlikely to cause a performance decrease. A 32-bit OS has a maximum RAM limit of 4 GB C. Installing more than 4 GB of RAM on a 32-bit OS can cause performance issues due to the memory addressing limitations of the OS. Question 13. Which of the following connector types does DVI-D use to carry a digital video signal? A. VGA. B. HDMI. C. DisplayPort. D. D15. Incorrect choice. B. HDMI. VGA, A, and D15D connectors are analog and cannot carry a digital video signal. DisplayPort, C, is a digital connector but is not used by DVI-D. DVI-D, B, uses HDMI connectors to carry a digital video signal. Question 14. Which of the following inkjet printer components feeds paper through the printer during printing? A. Print head. B. Transfer belt. C. Fuser. D. Pickup roller. Correct choice. D. Pickup roller. The print head, A, is responsible for applying ink to the paper. The transfer belt, B, is responsible for transferring toner from the imaging drum to the paper in a laser printer. The fuser, C, is responsible for melting toner onto the paper in a laser printer. The pickup roller, D, is responsible for feeding paper through the printer during printing. Question 15. A user cannot print to a network laser printer. The printer has power and other users can print to it. Which of the following should the technician do first to troubleshoot the issue? A. Confirm the print queue is not stalled. B. Check if the user's workstation has the print driver installed. C. Reseat the network cable on the printer. D. Replace the printer's fuser assembly. Correct choice, B. Check if the user's workstation has the print driver installed. Confirming the print queue is not stalled, A, is important, but is unlikely to be the cause of the problem if other users can print to the printer. Reseating the network cable on the printer, C, is unlikely to be the cause of the problem if other users can print to the printer. Replacing the printer's fuser assembly, D, is unlikely to be the cause of the problem if other users can print to the printer. Checking if the user's workstation has the print driver installed, B, is the correct choice. If the user's workstation does not have the correct print driver installed, it will not be able to communicate with the printer. Question 16. Which of the following refers to a network that interconnects users across a city, state, or region? A. SAN. B. LAN. C. WAN. D. PAN. Correct choice, C. WAN. A storage area network, SAN, A, is a specialized high-speed network that provides block-level access to data storage. A local area network, LAN, B, interconnects users within a small geographic area, such as a building or campus. A wide area network, WAN, C. Interconnects users across a city, state, or region. A personal area network, PAN. D. Interconnects devices within a person's workspace, such as a computer, smartphone, and smartwatch. Question 17. Which of the following motherboard components stores the system time and BIOS configuration? A. CMOS battery. B. BIOS chip. C. North bridge. D. South bridge. Correct choice, A. CMOS battery. The BIOS chip, B, contains the firmware that initializes the hardware and loads the operating system. It does not store the system time or BIOS configuration. The North bridge, C, and South bridge, D, are responsible for connecting the CPU to the rest of the motherboard and managing I/O operations, respectively. The CMOS battery, A, is a small battery on the motherboard that provides power to the CMOS memory, which stores the system time and BIOS configuration. Question 18. A user reports their PC powers on, but then turns off after a few seconds. Upon opening the case, a technician notices the CPU fan is not spinning. Which of the following should the technician do first? A. Check the CPU heatsink for thermal paste issues. B. Verify the 4 8-pin CPU power connector is fully seated. C. Test the computer with known good RAM. D. Replace the non-functional CPU fan. Correct choice, B. Verify the 4 8-pin CPU power connector is fully seated. Checking the CPU heatsink for thermal paste issues. A. Is important, but is unlikely to be the cause of the problem if the CPU fan is not spinning. Testing the computer with known good RAM, C, is unlikely to be the cause of the problem if the CPU fan is not spinning. Replacing the non-functional CPU fan, D, is a possible solution, but it is recommended to verify the 4 8-pin CPU power connector is fully seated, B, first, to ensure that the CPU is receiving power. Question 19. Which of the following best describes the function of a proxy server? A. Provides redundancy for critical servers. B. Filters and inspects traffic between clients and external networks. C. Assigns IP addresses automatically to client computers. D. Stores and forwards email messages. Correct choice, B. Filters and inspects traffic between clients and external networks. Providing redundancy for critical servers, A, is the function of a failover cluster, not a proxy server. Assigning IP addresses automatically to client computers, C, is the function of a dynamic host configuration protocol, DHCP server, not a proxy server. Storing and forwarding email messages, D, is the function of an email server, not a proxy server. A proxy server, B, filters and inspects traffic between clients and external networks, providing security and caching services. Question 20. Which of the following technologies uses twisted pairs of wires to deliver broadband cable and Ethernet signals? A. Fiber optic. B. Coaxial cable. C. Satellite. D. UTP. Correct choice, B. Coaxial cable. Fiber optic, A, uses glass or plastic fibers to transmit data using light signals. Coaxial cable, B, uses a copper conductor surrounded by insulation and a braided shield to transmit data using electrical signals. It is commonly used for cable TV and broadband internet. Satellite, C, uses a satellite in orbit to transmit data to and from a ground station. It is commonly used for satellite TV and the internet. UTP. D uses twisted pairs of wires to transmit data using electrical signals. It is commonly used for Ethernet networks. Question 21. A technician needs to replace a failed SATA hard drive on a Windows PC. After replacing the drive, Windows fails to load with a boot device not found error. Which of the following is the most likely cause of the problem? A. The new SATA drive is not formatted. B. The SATA cable is faulty. C. The drive bay failed to provide power to the SATA drive. D. The BIOS boot order needs modification. Correct choice, D. The BIOS boot order needs modification. The new SATA drive is not formatted. A. Is unlikely to be the cause of the problem if Windows is not even able to load. A faulty SATA cable, B. Is unlikely to be the cause of the problem if the drive is being detected by the BIOS. The drive bay failed to provide power to the SATA drive, C. Is unlikely to be the cause of the problem if the drive is being detected by the BIOS. The BIOS boot order needs modification, D. Is the correct choice. If the BIOS is set to boot from a different device, such as a USB drive or CD-ROM, before the new SATA drive, Windows will not be able to load. Question 22. A new VoIP phone fails to register when connected to the office LAN. Which of the following should the technician check first? A. The phone is properly configured with the SIP address. B. QoS is enabled on the LAN switch. C. The phone firmware is up to date. D. PoE is provisioned to the switch port. Correct choice. A. The phone is properly configured with the SIP address. Enabling QoS on the LAN switch, B, is important for ensuring that VoIP traffic is prioritized, but it is unlikely to be the cause of the problem if the phone is not registering. Updating the phone firmware, C, is important for ensuring that the phone is running the latest software, but it is unlikely to be the cause of the problem if the phone is not registering. Provisioning PoE to the switch port, D, is important for providing power to the phone, but it is unlikely to be the cause of the problem if the phone is not registering. Checking if the phone is properly configured with the SIP address, A, is the correct choice. If the phone is not properly configured with the SIP address, it will not be able to register with the VoIP server. Question 23. A user reports loud static coming from their PC desktop speakers during video playback. This happens when the video has a lot of movement. Which of the following best explains the cause of the static noise? A. High CPU utilization. B. Low memory resources. C. Overheating CPU. D. GPU lacking video RAM. Correct choice, A. High CPU utilization. Low memory resources, B, can cause performance issues but are unlikely to cause static noise from the speakers. Overheating CPU, C, can cause stability issues but is unlikely to cause static noise from the speakers. GPU lacking video RAM, D, can cause video performance issues but is unlikely to cause static noise from the speakers. High CPU utilization, A, can cause static noise from the speakers if the CPU is not able to process the audio data fast enough. Question 24. Which of the following best describes the function of a proxy server? A. Blocks malicious traffic before it enters the network. B. Assigns private IP addresses to client workstations. C. Stores session information to maintain user access. D. Prevents external access to internal network resources. Correct choice. B. stores session information to maintain user access. Blocking malicious traffic before it enters the network, A, is the function of a firewall, not a proxy server. Assigning private IP addresses to client workstations, B, is the function of a dynamic host configuration protocol, DHCP server, not a proxy server. Storing session information to maintain user access, C, is the function of a session border controller, SBC, which is sometimes used in conjunction with a proxy server. Preventing external access to internal network resources, D, is the function of a firewall, not a proxy server. Question 25. Which of the following is needed to authenticate a user's access to network resources? A, SMTP server. B, Radius server. C, DHCP server. D, DNS server. Correct choice. B, Radius server. An SMTP server, A, is used for sending and receiving email. A Radius server, B, is used for authenticating users who are accessing network resources. A DHCP server, C, is used for assigning IP addresses to client computers. A DNS server, D, is used for resolving domain names to IP addresses. Question 26. A user reports their smartphone battery seems to drain much faster than when it was new. The battery does not appear swollen. Which of the following should the technician check first? A, confirm the smartphone is not overheating. B, test voltage output of the charger. C, update the phone operating system. D, replace the battery. Correct choice. A, confirm the smartphone is not overheating. Testing voltage output of the charger, B, is important but is unlikely to be the cause of the problem if the battery is draining faster than usual. Updating the phone operating system, C, is important for ensuring that the phone is running the latest software, but it is unlikely to be the cause of the problem if the battery is draining faster than usual. Replacing the battery, D, is a possible solution, but it is recommended to confirm the smartphone is not overheating, A, first, as overheating can cause the battery to drain faster than usual. Question 27. Which of the following connectors has pins arranged in 2 equal rows and is commonly used for printers and hard drives? A, BNC, B, USB-C, C, Molex, D, D15. Correct choice, C, Molex. BNC, A, connectors are used for coaxial cable connections in video applications. USB-C, B, connectors are used for USB connections in modern devices. Molex and C connectors have pins arranged in 2 equal rows and are commonly used for power connections in desktop computers, including printers and hard drives. D15, D connectors have 3 rows of pins and are commonly used for VGA connections. Question 28. Which of the following transmission methods uses light pulses through plastic or glass fibers? A, satellite. B, DSL. C, cable. D, fiber optic. Correct choice, D, fiber optic. Satellite, A, uses radio waves to transmit data to and from a satellite in orbit. DSL, B, uses telephone lines to transmit data using electrical signals. Cable, C, uses coaxial cable to transmit data using electrical signals. Fiber optic, D, uses light pulses through plastic or glass fibers to transmit data. Question 29. A user reports their laptop display shows vertical lines across the entire screen. The video feed works normally when connected to an external display. Which of the following is the most likely cause? A, faulty discrete video card. B. Poor Wi-Fi signal. C. Failed RAM module. D. Damaged LCD. Correct choice, D. Damaged LCD. A faulty discrete video card, A, can cause video issues but is unlikely to cause vertical lines across the entire screen. Poor Wi-Fi signal, B, can cause connectivity issues but is unlikely to cause video issues. A failed RAM module, C, can cause stability issues but is unlikely to cause video issues. A damaged LCD, D, is the most likely cause of the problem if the video feed works normally when connected to an external display. Question 30. Which of the following mobile device security concepts requires a user to verify their identity using two different methods? A. Retinal scan. B. Multi-factor authentication. C. Password complexity policy. D. Screen lock timeout. Correct choice, B. Multi-factor authentication. Retinal scan, A, is a biometric authentication method that uses an individual's eye to verify their identity. Multi-factor authentication, B, requires a user to verify their identity using two or more different methods, such as a password and a fingerprint scan. Password complexity policy, or C, is a security policy that requires users to create strong passwords that meet certain complexity requirements. Screen lock timeout, D, is a security feature that automatically locks the device after a certain period of inactivity. Question 31. A technician needs to run a packet capture to analyze unusual network communications from a specific host. Which of the following tools would best meet this requirement? A. Cable tester. B. Port scanner. C. Bandwidth monitor. D. Network sniffer. Correct choice, D. Network sniffer. A cable tester, A, is used to verify the connectivity of a network cable. It is not used for packet capture. A port scanner, B, is used to scan a network for open ports on devices. It is not used for packet capture. A bandwidth monitor, C, is used to measure the amount of data transmitted over a network. It is not used for packet capture. A network sniffer, D, is used to capture and analyze network traffic, including packets sent and received by a specific host. Question 32. Which of the following ports is associated with HTTPS? A. 22, B. 110, C. 443, D. 3389. Correct choice, C. 443. Port 22, A, is used for SSH, secure shell connections. Port 110, B, is used for POP3, Post Office Protocol version 3, email retrieval. Port 443, C, is used for HTTPS, Hypertext Transfer Protocol secure connections, which are encrypted using SLTLS. Port 3389, D, is used for Remote Desktop Protocol, RDP connections. Question 33. A user receives a new inkjet printer and asks the technician how to connect it wirelessly to their home network. Which of the following wireless standards should the technician recommend? A. 3G, B. LTE, C. Bluetooth, D. NFC. Correct choice, C. Bluetooth. 3G, A, and LTE, B, are cellular network standards used for mobile data connections. Bluetooth, C, is a wireless standard used for short-range communication between devices. NFC, D, is a wireless standard used for contactless communication between devices. Question 34. Which of the following visually shows the structure and hierarchy of devices connected to a router or switch? A. Logical topology diagram. B. Physical topology diagram. C. Wireframe diagram. D. Architectural blueprint. Correct choice. B. Physical topology diagram. A logical topology diagram. A. Shows the logical connections between devices on a network, such as the IP addresses and routing paths. A physical topology diagram. B. Shows the physical connections between devices on a network, such as the cables and ports used to connect them. A wireframe diagram. C. Is a visual representation of a website or application that shows the layout and structure of the user interface. An architectural blueprint, D, is a detailed technical drawing that shows the design and construction of a building or structure. Question 35. Which of the following wireless security standards uses a pre-shared key to encrypt network traffic? A. WPA, B. WPA2, C. WEP, D. WPA3. Correct choice. A. WPA. WPA. A uses a pre-shared key, PSK, to encrypt network traffic. WPA2B uses a stronger encryption algorithm than WPA and is recommended for wireless security. WEP C is an older wireless security standard that uses a weak encryption algorithm and is no longer recommended for wireless security. WPA3D is a newer wireless security standard that uses stronger encryption and is recommended for wireless security. Question 36. A user recently replaced their 802. 11 in wireless router with an 802. 11 AC wireless router on an existing small home office network. All wireless devices currently work, but users complain of slower wireless network speeds. Which of the following is the most likely reason? A. Incompatible Wi-Fi adapter drivers on client devices. B. Mismatched frequency bands between devices. C. Incorrect SSID configured on the new router. D. The new router only supports 802, 11N. Correct choice. B. Mismatched frequency bands between devices. Incompatible Wi-Fi adapter drivers on client devices. A. Can cause connectivity issues but are unlikely to cause slower network speeds. Incorrect SSID configured on the new router, C, can cause connectivity issues but is unlikely to cause slower network speeds. The new router only supports 802. 11END can cause slower network speeds if the devices are capable of using the faster 802. 11AC standard, but it is unlikely to be the cause of the problem if all devices are using 802, 11N. Mismatched frequency bands between devices, B, is the most likely cause of the problem. If the devices are using different frequency bands, they may not be able to communicate with each other at optimal speeds. Question 37. A team lead asks a technician to deploy new laptops for mobile users with the following requirements. Battery life for at least 10 hours of use, lightweight for frequent travel, ability to run graphics-intensive applications. Which of the following laptop features should the technician recommend for this environment? Select 2. A. OLED display. B. Ethernet port. C. Iris Xe integrated graphics. D. Thunderbolt 4 support. Correct choices: C. Iris Xe integrated graphics. D. Thunderbolt 4 support. An OLED display, A, is a high-end display technology that provides better color accuracy and contrast than traditional LCD displays. It is not necessary for the requirements listed. An Ethernet port, B, is useful for wired network connectivity, but is not necessary for the requirements listed. Iris Xe Integrated Graphics, C, is a high-performance integrated graphics solution that can run graphics-intensive applications. Thunderbolt 4 Support D provides high-speed data transfer and can support external graphics cards for even better graphics performance. Question 38. A user reports that when printing multiple page documents from a laser printer, the pages print out of order. Which of the following is the most likely cause of the issue? A. Faulty duplexer. B. Defective transfer roller. C. Misaligned paper guides. D. Empty toner cartridge. The most likely cause of the issue is a faulty duplexer. The duplexer is the component of the laser printer that allows it to print on both sides of the paper automatically. If the duplexer is faulty, it may not be able to correctly feed the paper through the printer, resulting in the pages printing out of order. The other options are less likely to cause this issue. Defective transfer roller. The transfer roller is responsible for transferring the toner from the imaging drum to the paper. If the transfer roller is defective, it may cause the print quality to be poor, but it is less likely to cause the pages to print out of order. Misaligned paper guides. Misaligned paper guides can cause the paper to feed through the printer crookedly, but this is also less likely to cause the pages to print out of order. Empty toner cartridge. An empty toner cartridge will cause the printer to stop printing altogether, but it will not cause the pages to print out of order. Question 39. A user wants to purchase a new firewall appliance for their Soho network. The user requires the firewall to provide network-based antivirus, content filtering, and VPN capabilities. Which of the following devices should the technician recommend? A. UTM appliance. B. Core switch. C. Cable modem. D. Wireless router. Correct choice. A. UTM appliance. A UTM, Unified Threat Management Appliance, A, provides network-based antivirus, content filtering, and VPN capabilities, making it the best choice for the user's requirements. A core switch, B, is a high-performance switch used for connecting other switches and devices in a network. It does not provide the required security features. A cable modem, C, is used for connecting a home or small office network to the internet. It does not provide the required security features. A wireless router, D, provides basic network connectivity and wireless access, but does not provide the required security features. Question 40. A technician needs to upgrade the memory on a laptop. The laptop has 2 memory slots, with one slot occupied by a 4 GB DDR4 SODIMM. The technician has a spare 8 GB DDR4 SODIMM available. Which of the following is the maximum amount of memory the laptop will support if the second module is installed? A. 8 GB, B. 12 GB, C. 16 GB, D. 24 GB. Correct choice, C. 16 GB. The laptop has one memory slot occupied by a 4 GB DDR4 SODIMM, so it can support a maximum of 12 GB of memory, 4 GB plus 8 GB, B. However, the maximum amount of memory the laptop will support is 16 GB, C. This is because the laptop has 2 memory slots, and each slot can support a maximum of 8 GB DDR4 SODIMM, for a total of 16 GB. Question 41. A user reports their laptop will not power on. Upon opening the laptop, the technician sees the laptop has 2 SODIMM slots with only one module installed. Which of the following is the most likely reason the laptop will not power on? A. Non-matching RAM speeds. B. Unseated RAM module. C. Unsupported RAM type. D. Single-channel memory mode. Correct choice, B. Unseated RAM module. Non-matching RAM speeds, A, can cause stability issues but are unlikely to prevent the laptop from powering on. Unsupported RAM type, C, can cause compatibility issues but is unlikely to prevent the laptop from powering on. Single-channel memory mode, D, is a memory configuration that uses one memory channel instead of two, but it is unlikely to prevent the laptop from powering on. An unseated RAM module, B, is the most likely cause of the problem. If the RAM module is not properly seated in the slot, the laptop will not be able to boot. Question 42. A user reports intermittent issues accessing network resources. The technician determines the cause to be a bad network cable terminating in the user's office. Which of the following tools would the technician most likely use to repair the bad cable termination? A. Toner probe, B. Crimper, C. Cable tester, D. Punch down tool. Correct choice, D. Punch down tool. A toner probe, A, is used to trace the path of a cable in a wall or conduit. It is not used for repairing cable terminations. A crimper, B, is used to attach connectors to the ends of network cables. It is not used for repairing cable terminations. A cable tester, C, is used to verify the connectivity of a network cable. It is not used for repairing cable terminations. A punch-down tool, D, is used to terminate network cables on a patch panel or wall jack. Question 43. Which of the following types of firewalls filters traffic based on IP addresses and port numbers? A. Proxy firewall, B. Stateful inspection firewall, C. Application firewall, D. Next generation firewall. Correct choice, B. Stateful inspection firewall. A proxy firewall, A, filters traffic based on application layer protocols, such as HTTP or FTP. A stateful inspection firewall, B, filters traffic based on IP addresses and port numbers, as well as the state of the connection. An application firewall, C, filters traffic based on application layer protocols, but it can also inspect the content of the traffic. A next-generation firewall, D, is a newer type of firewall that can perform more advanced filtering, such as intrusion prevention and application control. Question 44. Which of the following motherboard form factors supports full-sized add-on cards? A. Mini ITX, B. Micro ATX, C. ATX, D. SFF. Correct choice, C. ATX. Mini ITX, A, is a small form factor motherboard that is designed for compact systems and has limited expansion options. Micro ATX, B, is a larger form factor motherboard that is designed for budget systems and has limited expansion options. ATX, C, is a full-sized motherboard that supports full-sized add-on cards and has more expansion options than Mini ITX or Micro ATX. SFF, D, stands for small form factor and refers to a category of systems that are smaller than traditional desktops but larger than laptops. SFF systems can use a variety of motherboard form factors. Question 45. A user's smartphone displays images correctly but has no audio from the built-in speakers. Which of the following components should be replaced to best resolve this issue? A. Charging port, B. Screen digitizer, C. Microphone, D. Headphone jack. Correct choice, C. Microphone. A charging port, A, is used to charge the smartphone's battery and is not related to audio output. A screen digitizer, B, is used to detect touch input on the smartphone screen and is not related to audio output. A microphone, C, is used to capture audio input and is the most likely component to cause a lack of audio output from the built-in speakers. A headphone jack, D, is used to output audio to headphones and is not related to audio output from the built-in speakers. Question 46. A user has installed a new SD card in their digital camera. The camera will read and write files to the internal memory, but does not recognize the new SD card. Which of the following is most likely causing the issue? A. Incompatible SD card file system. B. SD card is not fully inserted. C. Damaged SD card reader. D. SD card formatted incorrectly. Correct choice, A. Incompatible SD card file system. An incompatible SD card file system, A, is the most likely cause of the problem. If the SD card is formatted with a file system that is not supported by the camera will not be able to recognize the card. An SD card that is not fully inserted, B, can cause connectivity issues, but is unlikely to prevent the camera from recognizing the card. A damaged SD card reader, C, can cause connectivity issues, but is unlikely to prevent the camera from recognizing the card. An SD card formatted incorrectly, D, can cause issues with data storage, but is unlikely to prevent the camera from recognizing the card. Question 47. A user receives a new multifunction printer and asks a technician which connection method would provide the fastest print speeds. Which of the following connectivity types should the technician recommend? A. Ethernet. B. USB 2.0. C. Wi-Fi. D. Bluetooth. Correct choice, A. Ethernet. Ethernet, A, provides the fastest and most reliable connection for a multifunction printer. USB 2.0, B, provides a slower connection than Ethernet and is not recommended for high-speed printing. Wi-Fi, C, can provide fast speeds, but is subject to interference and may not be as reliable as a wired connection. Bluetooth, D, provides a slower connection than Ethernet and is not recommended for high-speed printing. Question 48. A technician needs to replace a SATA drive showing predictive failure alerts in the OS. According to company policy, the technician must perform which of the following steps before replacing the drive? A. Format the new drive as a quick format. B. Update firmware on the new drive. C. Backup data from the failing drive. D. Enable TPM encryption on the new drive. Correct choice, C. Backup data from the failing drive. Formatting the new drive as a quick format, A, is not necessary before replacing the drive. Updating firmware on the new drive, B, is not necessary before replacing the drive. Backing up data from the failing drive, C, is the correct choice. Before replacing a failing drive, it is important to back up any important data to prevent data loss. Enabling TPM encryption on the new drive, D, is not necessary before replacing the drive. Question 49. A user intermittently loses Wi-Fi connectivity on their laptop at home and suspects the issue is with their wireless router. Which of the following tools should the user use to determine which nearby wireless channels have the least interference? A. Multimeter. B. Power supply tester. C. Wi-Fi analyzer. D. Cable tester. Correct choice, C. Wi-Fi analyzer. A multimeter, A, is used to measure electrical voltage, current, and resistance. It is not used for analyzing wireless networks. A power supply tester, B, is used to test the output voltage of a power supply. It is not used for analyzing wireless networks. A Wi-Fi analyzer, C, is used to scan nearby wireless networks and determine which channels have the least interference. A cable tester, D, is used to verify the connectivity of a network cable. It is not used for analyzing wireless networks. Question 50. Which of the following best describes single sign-on? A, providing account credentials each time network resources are accessed. B, using smart card authentication to access the network. C, entering user credentials one time to access multiple services. D, configuring two-factor authentication when users log in. Correct choice, C, entering user credentials one time to access multiple services. Providing account credentials each time network resources are accessed, A, is not efficient and can be time-consuming. Using smart card authentication to access the network, B, is a form of two-factor authentication and is not related to single sign-on. Entering user credentials one time to access multiple services, C, is the correct choice. Single sign-on allows users to authenticate once and then access multiple services without having to enter their credentials again. Configuring two-factor authentication when users log in, D, is a form of authentication that requires users to provide two forms of identification, such as a password and a security token. It is not related to single sign-on. Thanks for joining us in this practice session. We'll be releasing more videos in this series, so make sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss a single question. Remember, practice makes perfect, and we're here to help you succeed in your CompTIA A+ journey. Stay tuned for more, and happy studying.